Hi, my name is Tim Clowers and welcome to my YouTube channel. I've been working in commercial kitchens for over 20 years as a chef. Today what I'm gonna make for you is a very simple recipe, basic pizza dough. I've been making basic pizza dough for over 20 years. It's very simple and you're gonna need just a few ingredients. Let me list them off for you real quick. You're just gonna need some either table salt, sea salt, kosher salt, whatever you wanna use. I like to use the Himalayan pink sea salt, some olive oil, and also some honey. 3 cups of flour initially to start. We're gonna need a cup of water, a thermometer of course, and some dry active yeast. And of course, a good mixing bowl. Let's get started and I'll show you how I make it. It's very easy to make. It takes a few hours because you gotta proof the dough of course. So let's get to it. The first step is to activate the yeast in your 1 cup of water. And I will list these ingredients for you, by the way. So we're just gonna pour that packet of yeast into the water that's between 100 degrees and 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna set this aside for 10 minutes and allow the yeast to activate. So I've got 3 cups of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of salt. Gonna mix the salt and the flour together. And I'm gonna put in 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. And you might think this is a little strange, but I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of honey. This adds a level of sweetness to the bread that I actually enjoy. I've been doing this for over 20 years, like I said. It's been 10 minutes and you can tell that that yeast has been fully activated. Now we're just gonna pour it into the flour and the other ingredients. And I just got a wooden spoon and I'm just gonna mix it until all the wet ingredients are incorporated with the dry ingredients. And then it's time to do away with the spoon. It's time to use the hands and you wanna fold outside in until you start forming somewhat of a dough ball. Once you kind of get together a dough ball, transfer it to the cutting board. Just get you a little bench flour, lay it on your surface, and put that dough right on there. All right, and then at this point, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna knead it. I like to flatten it out with the palm of my hand, fold it back in, fold it over again as my cutting board slides, and then just press. Sometimes I go to the side, fold in, and then this process is going to take about 10 minutes. And what you're doing is you're activating the gluten that is inside of the dough, and that's the kneading process. Hey, this is the labor of love. If you like something homemade that you didn't buy in a store, and I know not everybody loves to cook the way that I do and has the same passion for cooking the way that I do. But here's that dough after 10 minutes of kneading the dough. It actually is in a really good shape of a dough. I think that gluten has been stretched really well. And so what I like to do is I just like to fold it into a ball, all right? And then just pinch the bottoms. All right? And it's not a super wet dough, as you can see. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that same bowl that I mixed the flour and the yeast and the honey and the oil, everything in. I'm gonna put a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, maybe about a teaspoon in the bottom part of that, and I'm just gonna mix it around just like that. Yeah, and it's still dirty. It's got the flour and a little bit of the other ingredients left over from mixing, but it's okay. And we're just gonna stick that pizza dough right in there. So I'm gonna cover it with plastic wrap. Okay, I have a Samsung oven and it has a bread proof setting. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep it covered and I'm just gonna stick it in the oven I'm gonna come back in an hour later and I'm gonna do a second rise as well. But you don't have to do a second rise, that's just me and how I like to do it. And if you don't have a proof setting, all you need to do is cover it and put it in a warm place somewhere in your kitchen. We're not gonna just make the pizza dough, we're gonna make a pizza. So let's build some flavors. I got a whole bulb of garlic and we're just gonna cut the end of it off. Remove any of that excess loose skin. We got a piece of foil. Just gonna roll it up and make like a bowl. Set that garlic right in there, just like that. Extra virgin olive oil, drizzle right on top. And another piece of foil. And let's just cover it. Just like that. So that dough has been proofing for about an hour. Gonna punch it down a little bit or press it down. And I'm not gonna do a second rise. I changed my mind. Flour to work on your surface. And there is the dough. And I'm just gonna get my fingers and maneuver through the dough just like that. I like my pizza dough a little thin crusted. I don't have a rolling pin. I do have a glass. It might work. Let's just get a glass. Just kind of roll it out. Maybe you have a rolling pin. I don't. There we go. There is our pizza dough. Let's get a pizza pan. And I'm just going to get some cornmeal. And what the cornmeal does is it prevents it from sticking to the pan. That's all it does. It really doesn't, it might stick a little bit to the pizza dough, but not a lot. I'm not gonna make my own sauce. I've got this Mazzetta. I'm just gonna spread some of this out on the pizza dough. This stuff is really good, it's tasty. Just spread the marinara on the pizza crust. And here's that garlic that I roasted. We're just gonna squeeze it out of there. That's gonna go on the pizza. That's just gonna provide lots of delicious flavor. Okay, this is gonna be a cheeseless pizza because my daughter has a lactose problem. So I'm just gonna add some of this little spicy salamis on here. And there you go. We're gonna pop that in the oven at 450 degrees. Notice how it just slides right off. That's awesome.